welcome to your Saturday story. Got a good one for you today. What is that I hear you say? Have you seen my t-shirt? Who is this wonderful lady on my t-shirt today? Look at this lady. Tell me who she is. Absolutely right. This is the Mona Lisa painting, the most famous painting in the world, painted by Leonardo da Vinci in the year 1503. So that's over 500 years ago, which is quite a long time. Now, Leonardo da Vinci was a very, very clever man. He was not only an artist, but he was an architect, an inventor, a scientist, a mathematician. I think I would really have liked to have met him, to be honest, and I would probably learn an awful lot about him. Now, why is the Mona Lisa the most famous painting in the world? Well, she actually became more famous when something happened to her. Something that made everybody go, oh, in despair. And I'm going to tell you a story about that today. It is a crime story, a detective story. I hope you enjoy it. This is all true, by the way. The story is called Who Stole Mona Lisa? Yes, she was actually stolen. Can you believe that? Who would dare to steal the Mona Lisa? My goodness. Wow. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, really. Probably bad, but he must have had a reason, whoever it was, to steal her. Shall we find out what that reason is? Okay, so who stole Mona Lisa? This is my favourite art book ever in the whole world, so I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Here they come. People with up hair, people with down hair. People with skirts, people with shirts, people with hats and spats, boots and suits. They are coming to stare at me, Mona Lisa. Shh. Let's listen to the guide. So the Mona Lisa picture is over here. We can just see the frame. Look at all these people queuing up to see her. That is how famous she is. This is Mona Lisa, the mighty Mona Lisa, the greatest painting in the world. She is famous for her mysterious smile. Is it a growing smile or a knowing smile? A shy smile or a sly smile? Now look at her eyes. They follow you wherever you go. Everyone moves. Some walk to the left. Some walk to the right, some stoop low, some stand on their tippy toes. Children turn sideways and sometimes even upside down to peek through their legs. Is that Mona Lisa? They ask. Is she real? Tall people poke their noses up close. Ugh, I can smell garlic on their breath and coffee and cigars. Ugh, and they all stare at me. Shh, here's the guide again. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a painting and have lots of people stare at you all day? Mona Lisa's name was Lisa Gherardini, and she was Italian. She married when she was 16. Mona means my lady in Italian. So Mona wasn't her first name. Her first name was Lisa, like me. And my lady means in Italian, Mona means my lady in Italian. So when we say Mona Lisa, we are saying my lady Lisa. Mona Lisa got tired posing for the portrait, and when she squirmed, the painter told her to be still. If she dozed, he tickled her nose with his brush. If she scratched, he asked if she had ants in her pants. And when Mona was moody, he hired musicians and clowns to amuse her. And you see there, he's poking her with his paintbrush. Perhaps she's dozing off. Leonardo da Vinci is the artist who painted me, and it took him 4 years. And Leonardo loved me. He looked at me while he ate pasta. He would not travel anywhere without me. He said I was his masterpiece. Ooh, amazing, everybody's saying. I was famous because Leonardo was famous. Fans jammed his studio to watch him paint. Sometimes he set off coloured smoke bombs to please them. Ooh, ah, amazing, they said. Leonardo was a sculptor, an architect, an inventor, and an engineer. He drew designs of helicopters, parachutes, tanks, and even a robot. People heard he wrote backwards. How clever is that? And people heard he loved animals. They had seen him buy animals in cages at the market and then just set them free. And people saw he was an amazing painter. And soon I was the most famous painting in Europe. I was famous for being famous. Leonardo sounds like a really nice man, doesn't he? A French king named Francois I invited Leonardo to paint in his court, and the two men became friends. After Leonardo died, I was given to King Francois, who admired me as he feasted on frogs' legs and wine. I stayed in France for many years with many different kings, 2 named Francois, 3 named Henry, 1 Charles, and 4 Louis. Finally, a French emperor named Napoleon got his hands on me. Napoleon hung me in his bedroom. He looked at me as he dusted the diamonds in his crown. And one day he decided to give me to the Louvre Museum in Paris, where I could be seen by the world. At the museum, I became world famous. Day after day, crowds came to see me. And day after day, a man with a moustache came to look at me too. Can you see him? The man with the moustache. Here he is again. One hot night in August, I heard footsteps. The man with the moustache came alone in the dark. He measured me 53 centimetres wide by 76 centimetres tall. And then he tiptoed away. Early the next morning, I heard footsteps again. The man with the moustache was back, and this time he was wearing a white workman's smock. He looked behind him. Then he raised both hands and ripped me off the wall. Ouch! Dun, dun, dun! Oh, my goodness. Poor Mona Lisa. First I lurched sideways, then upside down. I felt sick. My veil slid over one eye. A honey cake fell from my lap. He hid me under his white smock. I could feel his heartbeat. Da-dum, da-dum. He tiptoed to the dark place and pried me from my frame. Eek! His shoes squeaked as he sneaked out of the museum. The next day, the museum went wild. Where was the Mona Lisa? Where was the most famous painting in the world? Did someone hide her? And if they did, why? Why would they do that? They looked for me in closets and corners. They looked in dustbins and vents. They found a fingerprint and my frame in a stairwell. Aha! She must be in the photo studio. But I was not. Was I in the baker's oven down the road? Oh no, too hot. In the hippo's hay at the zoo? Too wild. In the cheese shop? Ugh, too smelly. Detectives searched boats and beaches, freight trains and farms. The museum posted a reward for my return, and they asked fortune tellers to track me down. But still, people came to see no Mona. Millions of people, people from near and people from far. People from Giza, people from Pisa, people from New York and Peking. Some of them cried, and one fainted with grief. Oh my goodness, where has she gone? All that was left of me was a space on the wall. But people still came. They came to see the hooks where I hung. They wanted to see where I wasn't. They wrote me poems and songs, and they sent me love letters. My goodness, what do you think of all that? People coming with flowers and writing poems to... Well, there's a space on the wall. She's missing. The man with the moustache loved me too. He said I reminded him of someone special. He looked at me at every meal, over apples, eggs and trout, cake and prunes and piglet snout. He looked at me on rainy days, on snowy days, and during summer squalls. He looked at me when he bathed. He looked at me while he shaved. He looked at me for 2 years. I was tired of the man in the moustache. I missed my wall. I missed people staring. I missed the children going sideways and upside down. Look at the picture now. She doesn't look like she's smiling at all. She looks very sad. One day, the man with the moustache heard the police were searching for me nearby. He grabbed me and stuck me under the stove, and I could hardly breathe. I thought of my kings in their beautiful palaces. I thought of the museum and my place on its wall. I remembered when I was the great Mona Lisa. Now, instead of crowds, I saw cobwebs. Instead of admirers, I saw ants. That's not the right place for the Mona Lisa, is it? Stuck behind the stove. The man with the moustache decided it was not safe to keep me in Paris. He wrapped me in red cloth, stuffed me in a trunk, and took me back to Italy by train. The train screeched around bends and roared through tunnels. Heavy things bumped my trunk as the man with the moustache growled and cursed. Ooh, look at this picture. What has happened, everybody? When we arrived in Italy, he tried to sell me, but people recognised me and called the police. The man with the moustache was sent to jail, and I was booked on an express train back to Paris, and she is smiling again. I don't know whether you can see that. She looks a lot happier than she did before. Where I was returned to my wall at the museum. Hurrah! There she goes, back in her spot. The museum went wild. Everyone was talking. Mona Lisa is back. People bought me flowers and cried with joy. They lit fireworks. Did I look the same? Was I hurt? People lined the streets to see me. 100,000 people visited me on my first day back. Suddenly, I was fashionable. Women tried to smile like me and wore makeup to colour their skin like mine. Now you know why I am smiling. Because I am happy to see you. I am happy to be back where I belong. I am happy to be me, Mona Lisa. But mine is a knowing smile. It has stored secrets for more than 500 years. The secrets of artists and kings, a hot night in August, and a moustache. It is a smile that knows many secrets. But now so do you. Shh, listen to the guide. She is still talking about me. And there you have it. The Mona Lisa was stolen, but thankfully 2 years later she was discovered and sent back to Paris in the Louvre Museum, where you can go and see her today. You can go and visit her today. You'll probably have to queue up, but yes, she's still really, really famous, and that's why you have to queue. So, can you sit like the Mona Lisa with straight back, hands in your laps, giving a smile, a knowing smile? I don't know how you do that. Not sure. I wonder what you think she's smiling about. Is she smiling because she's happy to see you? What other reasons can you think of that she could be smiling about? Perhaps she's smiling because she had delicious Italian pizza for tea, or because she's bought a nice pair of new shoes. I don't know, we can't see her shoes in the picture, can we? Only can see her top half. we're going to finish with a song.